Hi everyone, welcome back to JP WHU TV. It's nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well and having a good week so far. Yesterday a video went up talking about the summary of the financial stewardship of David Sullivan and Karen Brady in terms of them running the club down into the ground. If you haven't already done so, guys, I really request you to go and check that out before you watch this video, because today we're going to go into a bit more detail in terms of what the profit and sustainability rules are and in terms of the financial spending of it. But as always, guys, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase some really nice retro gear. And as you can see from the icon that's up here, there's also some there's some nice clout and blue track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts made by Admiral and Umbro, so go check those out as well. And any purchases you make through the link in the description below, the commission that the channel would normally be getting, as I always say, I'll be sending on to the charity Iron Supporting Food Banks. They're based in the Newham area, and they're helping those in the Newham area and the Essex County and further afield for that matter, as they're currently supporting close to, if not over 90 separate food banks by the time of this recording. So guys, go grab yourself a really nice retro shirt. You'll be saving yourself a few quid in comparison to the club shop, and you'll be helping those that are less fortunate than you and I. But if you want to make a donation directly to the charity, but you don't want to make an affiliate link purchase, that's perfectly fine as well. There is their Just Giving Fund link in the description below, so by all means, please do go click that. £1, £2, £5, whatever you can afford, guys. Believe me, every penny helps. So, as I say, yesterday I did a video where we talked about David Sullivan running the club into the ground, because we've been spending stupidly, quite frankly. We really genuinely have. But today I thought I'd kind of explain as to the thinking why David Sullivan has been saying what he's been saying, but I still don't agree 100% what he's saying about that we are skint. Now, let's get on to it. So basically, profit and sustainability rules, they actually launched in the 2015-16 season, which basically were brought in to permit clubs to lose no more than £105 million in a 3-year cycle. Now, in yesterday's video, I did talk about the periods of time where we did fall into that black hole, quite frankly, but it does seem that we got away with it because everybody else was affected at the same point with COVID and, that stuff. Well, we don't have to go into that again. But there's also stuff in there that David Sullivan's kind of using as a blanket to a degree, is part of the profit sustainability rules, which is basically squad cost rules, which are basically very similar to UEFA's existing financial sustainability rules, in which they allow clubs to spend up to 85% of their total revenues on squad related costs. Now, from what I understand of that would be wages and transfer top figures, right? So within that SCR, that squad cost rules, there's something called anchoring, which completely contradicts what David Sullivan is talking about, which we can get away with to a degree. The anchoring is basically limiting how much clubs could spend on player wages and transfers to 5 times the revenue that the league's bottom club receives in broadcast prize money. So, for example, the bottom club last season was Sheffield United, and they received £110 million for being relegated. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's obviously, that's on top of like TV deals, equity share, where they ended up in the league, etc., etc. The 20th slice of the cake from the Premier League money, all that sort of stuff, right? That means that under the SCR rules, the spending limit would be 5 times £110 million. So for every club, so that's basically just over £500 million. Now, last season, West Ham received £160 million from all TV deals, Premier League payouts, and winning the Conference League. £44 million from match day revenue, £41.9 million from sponsorship revenue, and we've got the woman in charge of this is on the fucking Apprentice, telling people what to do. We've got like 20 sponsors, and we only brought in £42 million for the 23-24 season. Fuck's sake. And we also received we received £16.1 million from retail revenue, totaling £269 million in revenue going into the season. Now, under these rules, it pretty much affects West Ham this way. Without anchoring, we can spend up to £228 million on wages and transfers for the last season. Sorry, for going into this season, I should say, for the money that we had from last season. That's what I'm basically doing. So from what I've done a bit of research, looked on different websites, and in terms of the money spent and the money bought in from player sales as well as player incomings, is the word I'm thinking of. It's around about, the gross of that was £98 million on players going in and players coming out, and an estimated £100.23 million on wages this season, which totals, give or take a little bit, £198 million, so well under the £228 million glass ceiling that we had for this. Now, as a result of that, as I say, include anchoring, we can spend what the fuck we want, quite frankly, but it's only on, you know, as I say, and this is where it gets a little bit more overcomplicated. And I'm not an accountant in any shape or form. You guys know that. I've been saying that for years. But I can read, I can add, I can subtract. So this is where I think David Sullivan is using this as a blank comfort blanket to tell to people, we can't spend money. We can't, but we can. Versus, we shouldn't. And should we? That's nearer the point, right? Because as I say, I do think the way things are going, basically bearing in mind that like Spurs, like Man United, West Ham budgeted for the transfer windows for the for the summer window and January transfer windows for this season, spending big, thinking we were going to finish up a lot higher than we actually did. Now, obviously, there's an argument to say that we're finishing worse than we could have done under Lopetegui, which we are with Potter. You know, obviously with Lopetegui, it was worrying, but with the results that have been for the half of the season that Potter's been in charge now, it's worrying as well. But that, again, that's a conversation we'll have at the end of the season, which is only a few weeks away now, guys, to be honest with you. But yeah, as I say, this is the reason why David Sullivan is hiding. He's used these right from the last 8 or 9 years. He's always used this excuse, and I get it. I understand the reasons why he does it. I understand that. Not only does he want to he wants everybody to think that we're not going to be an easy target, but also at the same point, it's counteracting that by, if we're putting in £50 million bid for Duran in January, yet we've got no money, and we're going into the summer transfer window with no money, yet we're targeting high-priced players. I don't know. It's difficult. It really is difficult to justify. But guys, give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know your thinking on this as well, for that matter. I'm hoping, please let me know. I'm hoping I've kind of made it a little bit clearer as it turns what these profit and sustainability rules are. But again, as I said yesterday, I do genuinely think the reason why David Sullivan is asking for a shitload of money to sell the club, if and when he ever does, is because he wants to clear that ridiculously climbing debt. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the accounts for the end of this season, as I said yesterday, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the accounts for this season is showing that we're £250 million in debt. I really wouldn't be surprised of that whatsoever. So you know, we've got to have that amount of money coming in before the sale of the club, in terms of what he feels the club is actually worth. But what is it worth? Seriously, what is it worth? What do we have? We have the training ground and the players. We've got fuck all else assets at the moment. You know, this is why we're in the catch-22. But guys, thank you very, very much for watching. As I say, the Man United preview is going to be going up tomorrow afternoon, so by means, please do check that out as well. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope to see you on Sunday for the Man United watch-along. From, where are we? It's like 2 o'clock. I'm going to do kickoff's like 2:15 if I remember correctly, or 2 o'clock. So anyway, lunchtime Sunday. I hope to see you then. All the best now. Take care.